Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The last class, we saw the love and devotion being the same emotion. Only direction varies. Same identification, same affection, same concern that you have towards an object or being. If it is lower, gross, worldly, we call it as love. If the same thing were to be something beyond you, above you. For example, you say, I'm devoted to my parents. They are also from the world only. Right? But they are above you. So you don't say, I love my parents. That's not the right usage of the word. You can say that, not that, nobody is going to file a case on you for that, but then the right way of expression is, I am devoted to my parents, I am devoted to my teacher, I am devoted to God. You say, I love my dog. Correct. You can't say, I am devoted to my dog. It doesn't go with that. But then, remember this. You always start with love. You don't start with devotion. That's very rare to experience. Starting point. The starting point for a common man is to experience that identification. That identification possibility is to something which he can interact at his level or at her level. Then by definition, that identification will be termed as love. Right? Because that's what we said. So it's the same identification, the same feeling, directed towards something equal to me or something lower. We call it as love. The same thing were to be directed towards something higher than me, bigger than me, that's called devotion. If that's the case, then all your love, when it matures, what should happen? It should become devotion. If your love has not matured into devotion, understand your love has deteriorated into attachment. That's why when you say, I love my child, you say there is no such thing called love. Like Oliver Goldsmith says, no? Love is still an emptier sound. You say, it's empty sound. Why? Because when love matures, when love grows, when love advances, what should be happening? That love feeling, the moment you start experiencing a love feeling, then your beloved starts becoming bigger than you, more important than you, isn't it? If your beloved is going to become bigger than you, important than you, then how can that emotion can be called as love anymore? Isn't it? That emotion cannot be called as love anymore because it has become higher than me. So now I start experiencing that it is higher than me, therefore the emotion that I am having towards that can no longer be termed as love, it has to be termed as devotion. So you start as love, but finally you land up where? In devotion. If you are not landing in devotion, you are landing in attachment. So that is why we say all emotional transactions that you have, the so-called love that we talk about, is all nothing but attachment only. But it started as what? That's the beauty of it. The starting point of it is identification. Love, there's no doubt about it. It starts. It's like a person trying to solve a problem. First step is correct, sir. What is the first step? Let the height be x. That's the first step. Since he said let the height be x, therefore how much marks you will give him?
Zero.
Your answer has to be correct. And you should have followed the steps in that. You can't suddenly write no, without any sort of application of a formula, derivations, nothing. No calculations, nothing. Straight away you give the answer. We say what? Still marks will not be given in mathematics. Why? Copy. Even by fluke you can get it. It need not be copy. Sheer luck also sometimes, trial and error. Sometimes you can get the answer also. But for that you will not be given marks. Same way here. The first step for all of us, nature gives us that clue, gives us an opportunity to experience love. But then you need to properly nourish it, you need to properly nurture it. That is where discipline comes into picture. But we think devotion doesn't demand any discipline. We never think, bhakti to be a path of discipline. All of us understand karma to be having a path of discipline is needed, jnanam needs discipline and all those things. For bhakti, sir, there's nothing. No rules, no regulations, nothing is needed for bhakti. Correct. That is, after you have got that intensity of bhakti, after you get it, not before. See, when you are in the path, there is specific effort needs to be put in. So how can you develop love? Nobody can teach you to develop love. Either you have it or you don't have it. How can you develop bhakti, sir? No, that is not possible. I can't give you a technique, system. Do A, B, C, D. You will get bhakti. It's not possible. But at the same time, does it mean that you cannot do anything for that? No. You can do something also for that. So that's where this idea comes in. The love that we have, the relationship that you can entertain with God, say you can entertain in very many forms. Now each one of us can have their own way of relating to God. Doesn't matter. You can see God as your beloved. You can see God as your friend. You can see Him as your father, your protector, even your enemy. He said it doesn't matter. Now, how you are going to see him doesn't matter. You can have your own choice. There are very many ways you can establish your relationship with God. There are people who related to him as a child, like Dhruva. Dhruva was a child. See, so he saw Vishnu as a father. Right. Arjuna saw him as a friend. Hanuman saw Rama as master. Sita saw him as husband. Mirabai saw him as beloved. Now each one had their own. Sugriva saw him as alliance, partnership. See, very interesting. All these people had very many ways of relating to God. So there's no necessity that we say you should relate to God. Your relationship to God should always be that of one. You said no. You can relate to God the way you want. Freedom is given there. So then we say, okay, in that freedom, when I am operating, how do we know, sir, that emotion that I am having towards God is devotion actually? Isn't it? You can relate to God. But then how can you call it as devotion? So we say devotion should have certain features. Certain factors are there for devotion to be, for you to qualify something as devotion. So what is that? You say there are many definitions were given for devotion, bhakti. We will see that as we go along in the chapter. You will see. One of the things they say about bhakti is it is ananya chintam. No other thinking. Wherever you go, whatever you see, anything you transact in the world, every transaction reminds you of that. Like that's where I gave the example of a lover. The fellow sees the cinema poster. He's not seeing the heroine there. He's seeing his beloved there. I said, Lada, that's Kushbu. That's not your girl. But he can't see. I'm able to see Kushbu, he's not able to see her. Wherever we go, we keep seeing. What? So fundamental quality of this emotion, bhakti, you say, one is no other thinking. No other thinking in the sense not that all the time you will be saying Rama, 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 Krishna, 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 Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya and all that. Not that please. Because all of you had, yesterday, Shivaratri. When I was small, I was told, Shivaratri, if you are awake and do that, Rudram, Moksham. Right? I have seen a lot of people doing. I have also done that myself. I genuinely thought. Next day morning, Mukta Naidu. Nothing happened. Even yesterday I tried. Yes, but you keeping your eye, wide open and you keep repeating, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya and jumping and dancing. Millions of people do that. Have you found a single person achieving anything? Any one of them got up and said next day morning, huh? Does it mean the system is wrong? The formula is not wrong. You see, the formula is correct. The way you are going to be practicing the formula is the problem. So, Anayachinta is not simply, repeating Rama, 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 Rama. Whole day you keep saying, Rama, Rama. Will you achieve it? No. You are not going to get it through that. That doesn't mean it is not that. So immediately you say, okay, from today what I am going to do. That also I am not going to say. No. This is where discipline comes in. This is where training comes in. This is where effort comes in. See? So in bhakti, the complication is the position that you have to take, the stage of practice is different. After you have mastered, the rules are different. See, the rules are not same. It varies. So people get confused. So at this stage is one, that stage is one. Like in surrender to God, there are two ways of surrendering to God. Bhakti, how you express, you go and surrender to God. How do you surrender to God? They say there are two methods. One is how the kittens surrender. The surrender of kittens. How the cat takes the cubs. It's the same teeth is used by the cat when it's carrying a rat. Have you seen? Tiger example I can't give because none of you would have seen. At least cat you should have seen. Carrying the kitten and taking the rat. Same teeth. And you see when it is carrying that kitten, nothing happens to it. Whereas the same thing carries, similarly the tigers also. This is one type of surrender, kitten. That is what Sita did. Sita's surrender was that. He said, this Ravana abducted me. Just kept me there. What she was doing? Nothing. I am not going to do anything. I am simply sitting there. That's all. My job is to sit and cry. Rama has to go and entice Sugriva, convince Sugriva that he is capable of killing Vali, and then kill Vali, and then wait for Sugriva to send his army to all his people to search for Sita. Then somebody has to come search for her. Then the fellow comes back and reports, yes, she is there, she is alive. And then he says, okay, we will go with the army now, and then come bring the entire army. Imagine that army has to travel from one part to another part. Army logistics is such a big difficulty, Many a times people lose the battle because of, not because of anything. Everything is there. Logistics is not reached on time. Logistics is a very big effort. Army. Entire battalion has to travel and without making any noise. Remember, imagine an army is moving. You mean to say Ravana would not have their spies? They would have had the. Suddenly one day he comes out and sees there is an army standing in front of my fort. He is a local king. You can't call him as Ravaneshwara. Ravaneshwara, that fellow. Such a big kingdom had. He must have had his spies to report. Without the knowledge of the spies, they have to carry, army has to travel and reach the ocean and then cross the ocean, build that Setu or natural Setu, whatever it is, because now you can't say Ram Setu. Even if it is natural one, they should know, no, this is the place to which you can go. Imagine I take you to the ocean and leave you. Somewhere there is a path here, you can walk across. Find out. Where is the time for all that? Because Sita has already informed him. Ravana has given me 2 months time. I am giving Rama 1 month time. The message has already reached Rama. Within a month he has to go and rescue her. Otherwise, she says, ask him to go back to Ayodhya. He'll be wasting his time. He has to come and bring that army, then battle. Each one was like a stalwarts. Each one in that, Ravana's army. Every general was like a terror. Finish all those people, and then Sita say, okay, I'll come with you. Nothing she does. Right? Mark, not that Sita is incapable. You see, one angry look is enough for me to burn entire Lanka along with Ravana. That is the power of Sita. Rama has to do all that. For Sita, nothing she has to do. One look at him is enough. He will be burnt to ashes. That's the power. She says nothing doing. That's kitten. I don't do anything, man. It is your business. You have to come and give me moksha. This. Then you have another extreme, another group, another way of doing is a monkey. The young ones. How they markata. Right there, they say how the young ones cling to the body of the mother, as a mother is transporting it from one tree to another tree, as it is jumping from one branch to another branch, as it is moving. You see, that mother will not do anything. Mother will not be holding. It is the child that will be holding. The young one will be clinging to the body of the mother. The entire effort is from the young one. So in one method, we say it has to be no effort. You simply sit. In another one, entire thing is your effort only. He is not going to do anything. Now, which method you are going to follow? The interesting part is the first method has a lot of following. Oh, I don't have to do anything. Pada. God will do everything, no, for us. Correct. He will take care. No, you don't have to do anything. Just relax. Complete surrender, sir. Total surrender. Saranagati. No Saranagati. Sir. Now Vedanta says you can be qualified to take that position after you have mastered the previous. Your effort has to be so complete for you to take that sort of a positioning. Otherwise, it's not possible. So, what is this bhakti? The way you practice that bhakti will vary depending upon what is your nature and your current position. How evolved are you? If you have been having the total bhakti, then everything is beautiful there. You see, that's the aspect here. You see. When you have the total identification, that identification will have an expression. So therefore, in the discussion of bhakti, the problem we will be encountering is this. Are we going to treat bhakti as a noun or as a verb? That's the problem. Is it a bhavana or is it an action? Bhakti is bhavana, sir. Bhakti bhavana. Have you ever heard this term? Bhakti bhavana. Bhakti is bhavana. Now, what is the proof of that? What is the proof of your attitude? I have lot of devotion. I am highly committed. What is the proof of that? The proof of the pudding is in eating, not looking. Paaka nalla irukku, sir. Now, food cannot be, we are keeping it attractive to the eyes only for what? To eat. The food is supposed to be consumed, not sniffed. You don't go on sniffing. Go home. In a hotel you go, say, buffet. How much you pay, sir? 4,500 per person. Wow. What do you have to do? Smell, sir, ultimate. You can distinctly make out the difference between this dish and that dish smell and this fragrance and that aroma, that superb taste. So what are you supposed to do now? Everyone goes and sniffs. Next. 4,500 you have to pay for that now. So we say what? Proof of the pudding is in eating. Similarly, proof of bhakti is what? What is the proof of your devotion? The proof of your noun is in the verb. The proof of your attitude is in action, is in its expression. How it expresses, that defines the whole thing. Bhakti is definition adha. When you understand this emotion, see, on one hand, it's very difficult to talk on bhakti. On the other hand, how much ever you speak about bhakti is not enough. You have not covered the aspects. It's weird combination that is bhakti is. One side it is like what you can talk, nothing can be spoken, not a word can be spoken about bhakti. Because one other side is you can write literature after literature after literature after literature, but there's no, you cannot cover that. Not yet covered. Like they say, Narada's Bhakti Sutra, no? Narada Bhakti Sutra, that's the only sutra which doesn't have a commentary, bhashya. Panini Sutra has a bhashyam. Every sutra, Yoga Sutra has a bhashya for that. Means, commentary is there. For Bhakti Sutra only, there is no commentary. Nobody wrote a commentary for that. Because these are the two sets of people saw that. One set of people saw that Narada Bhakti Sutra and they say, it's too obvious. Even the blindest can see. He has made it so direct and so simple. That's all bhakti is, finished. Another set of people saw, sir, it's easy to write a commentary for Brahma Sutra. Bhakti Sutra is not possible. So don't even attempt it. So one set of people saw this is so simple, another set of people saw that as so complex. So it depends on that, we say. So bhakti, it is in expression. How that bhavana is finding its expression. And in that expression we find the spectrum we have, unbelievable spectrums we have in bhakti expression. It's not that everybody will go to the temple and do the same thing. No. As a devotee, Kannappa Nayanar, fellow, is a hunter, illiterate. Right? So what he would do is, he will take, the meat. He will cook that meat. And he will take that and chew that part of the animal. And he will cook another part of that animal. Each part tastes differently. Don't ask me how you know. Everything you don't have to know by experience. Wisdom la therinju know. So you have that. Nalla. What he would do is, he will take that, he will chew. Wow, very tasty here. He will take it out and put. You have meat. Suddenly he will take, raw meat. See, this will taste nice only if it is raw. If you cook, nalla irukadu. So this part of it, he will give raw. Every day for Lord Shiva is giving. And he would not know how to do Abhishekam and all those things. Shiva Linga is in the top of the hill, Kalasthi, top. So he has to climb. So he didn't know how to carry water. He will come into the river. He will take in 2 hands. How much water will come? Not enough. So he will take little in his mouth also. So he will go to that, Shivalinga and spit. That's Abhishekam for him. And then meat. Variety of meat. The priest will come every day. He will come and see that and he gets so annoyed. He will throw all that and do a proper, complete Abhisheka and Archana and all those things, and then he will give Chakra Pongal. So for that 1 week, Shiva had veg, non-veg. Rendu lunch he had every day. Vegetarian lunch, non-vegetarian lunch. He was having, next day this guy comes. He is not even registering that, everything is looking different now. To his eyes, all those things are looking ugly. Removes everything, has made all the rangoli and, this pushpam and that alankar and all that he has done. Next day this guy comes and he throws the whole thing and he's again same thing. Again spit, again non-veg. Again that flowers, he'll bring some flowers, all wild flowers, he'll bring, throw that. Looking so nice. He goes. Again this man comes next day. 1 week was going on like that. And Shiva started having indigestion problem. Veg, non-veg, rendu saapta. So, look at that beauty there. Fantastic story. Shiva went to the dream of the priest. See, Shiva could have told this fellow, no? Kannappa, die. You don't know how to do properly, Learn from that fellow. Do like that. Periya kashtam. It's nothing complex. Immediately say, Kannappa wouldn't have done that. If Shiva would have told him, hey, learn from this guy, man, he's coming, just wait for another 15 minutes. He'll come. See how he is doing, follow. He would have followed, no? No. Shiva goes to that fellow's dream. Tomorrow, come little earlier. Half an hour early you come and hide yourself. Don't show your don't come out, okay? And that priest didn't know what's going on. He said, why Allah he didn't ask? He said, okay, sir. He goes and hides behind a tree. Next day, this Kannappan comes. He comes and he sees Lord Shiva's eyes bleeding. That fellow took out his sword. Started saying, who hurt my Shiva now? The priest understood now why Shiva said, hide yourself. Imagine in that state, if that fellow would have seen the priest, moksha, direct Shivaloka prapti for that fellow. Chopped his head off. No chance. Survival, no chance with him. He is hiding. He goes and he brings these herbs because he is a hunter. He knows how to stop, bleeding. He brings the herbs and he gives the treatment. Nothing happens. As a hunter, he knows one thing. What is it now? Eye for eye. Eye transplant. No hesitation, nothing. Simply takes his knife and plucks his eyes out and fixes there. Illiterate fellow. Eye surgery pandran. If you have that sort of a bhakti, you can also spit on him. Doesn't matter. Question is, do you have that? In Old Testament, a beautiful instance that comes. Once Moses was moving around in the mountains and hears a shepherd boy praying to God. Oh, where are you? Please come. I will give you bath. I will comb your hair. I will shave you properly. Yeah, that's what he was doing for the sheep. Whatever he was doing to the sheep, that fellow says, I will do all that to you also. And Moses gets so annoyed. What do you think of God? He starts scolding him and telling him, this is not the way to pray. I will teach you how to pray. And he teaches and the boy learns also. And he says, sir, it's too much. It's very complex for me. I'm not able to understand all those things. And he goes. And Moses moves away. The voice of God says, Moses, that shepherd is closer to me than you. You mind your business. He is doing proper prayer. Why did you disturb him? That's the time he realized, oh my God, I made a mistake, he said. If you have devotion like that, so what is the mark of your devotion? How do you know? Your devotion can be known only by what you are willing to sacrifice. That is the definition. The ease with which he was able to sacrifice the eyes, and he was about to give the second eye also. The first eye started bleeding, so he fixes. The bleeding stops. Then comes, suddenly after 2 minutes, he sees the other eye also started bleeding. And he didn't know what to do. He said, yeah, that's easy, not a problem, because I know the solution now. What is the solution? Give another eye. Problem solved. But then look at the smartness of that. We say illiterate, but then he is far brilliant. He says, see, first time when I plucked this eye, I knew where to fix. Because the other eye is there. Now if I pluck this eye also out, I go totally blind. Where to fix I should know, no? Suppose if I go and fix somewhere else, it doesn't work. So what to do? He thinks. He says, best method is, he keeps his big toe near the eyes. So he says, here I know where my toe is. He is keeping his foot on Lord Shiva. And when he is about to pluck his eyes is where Shiva comes. And straight moksha. 7th day, he got moksha. He saw Shiva Linga first time. He has never seen that. He goes for hunting along with his friend. So they go and hunt. They finish the hunting. They say, yeah, we'll carry that. So before that, we'll go. And his friend was telling him, I have seen one Shiva Linga there. Would you like to see? He said, okay, let's go and see. What's the problem? He says. But as he was going, he starts experiencing something very different. And he saw that Shiva Linga, that's it. That's the final point. He's fixated with that. After that, Ananya Chinta. No other move, nothing else he saw. Everything he did was only for Shiva Linga. If you can have that much of intensity of identification, and what is the proof of the intensity of identification? Willingness to sacrifice. What is it that you are willing to sacrifice is the point. If you cannot sacrifice, but all of that. I understand all that, but then we have to be practical, in life. The bleeding happened. I'll go and bring some, assistance. Nothing. Is it any intelligence in that? You pluck your eyes and give. Is there any meaning? There's no meaning to it. It is absurd action. It is so stupid action. But when Kannappan does that, it is beautiful. When he is doing it, it is so beautiful. If we were to do that, what will happen? It looks ugly, looks really gross. It looks stupid. It looks very naive. So it can't be naive in life. Now there is another fellow who is throwing stones. Another devotee is throwing stones actually. He says, it's okay, I'll accept that. Now you can't emulate, remember. Now you can't say, I will also follow Kannappan. That is not possible. See, now who you can follow? You cannot follow the method of the kitten. That's not for following. That's not for effort. You have to put it. Remember, that's a law of life. The law is you need to put in tremendous effort to reach effortlessness. Isn't it? The effortless cover drive is able to achieve how? Through tremendous effort. This effort is needed to reach that state of effortlessness. So in bhakti, what is happening, sir? This is what is happening. That love makes it more superior, therefore sacrifice becomes easier, and how much ever you sacrifice, you feel you have not done enough. You see, you can never have that debate. What have you done? What I have done? How much ever you do, you feel I have not done enough. You can do little more. Do little more. And the best part of it is, to all others outside, to everyone else, your actions will always appear naive. It will not appear sense, practical. You say, no. You are not being practical, sir. You say. You are being practical. So this bhakti bhavana. Now Arjuna is confused now. Arjuna's confusion is, he was under the belief that bhakti is more to do with bhavana, attitude. Now Krishna is going on saying you have to put an effort. There has to be effort in that. Now he says, how can you put an effort there? If we have to put an effort, what sort of effort to be put in? Everybody says I have bhakti, 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 but then is there gradations? The types of bhaktas he has explained earlier. Artha, Arthati, Jignasu, Jnani. 7th chapter. Yeah. 7th chapter, he said there are 4 types of bhaktas. But he is not explaining what is their level of evolution. In the ladder of evolution, where are they standing? How did they develop that? That is the next question. So Arjuna is confused with reference to those things. So he keeps asking all that. He says, what is that? What is this? Because for of us, we have a very weird understanding with reference to how we should become a bhakta, how you should become spiritual, what you should be. Because as far as we are concerned, for you to become spiritual, first thing should be what? Spiritual na enna pannum? First, you should drop your family. First qualification. First thing, you should be spiritual. No family, sir. Family is a problem. So you should not be married, you should not have that, you should not do this. Nothing should be there for you. See, we think family is a problem. We think family is a disturbance. If not, if that problem is not there, you should be a total failure in life. You should be a useless fellow. Like when I wanted to join the course, Vedanta Academy, before going I went and one of my friends, grandfather and grandmother, I had a great respect for them and they loved me a lot actually. I went to their house. I said, I'm going to the academy to study. Eda, BCom da pass pantiye. She said. First reaction of that lady, she said, you passed BCom, no? For her, you should study Vedanta spiritual. When, if you fail, you are not fit for nothing, you cannot study anything, then you can go to Vedanta. Then you can, pass panta, you should not have family. Illana enna sarna. Illana, you should have been a total failure in life. You should be fit for nothing. Then you can take to the spiritual. Family, father, mother, husband, wife, child. And that's, in a way, that's true also, because beyond the circle you can't think. You see, beyond that, people are not able to conceive. Therefore, they said, destroy the whole thing. But that's not the way to do. You see, so you say, if we have to progress, what is the conditions required, how we are to progress, what is to be done. This is the chapter, 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. So he is simply asking that. He says, what is this? What is the idea of bhakti? How are we going to progress in that? How are we to take it up? 20 verses. See, love is called bhakti. Love na? What is love? Constantly remembering that. That's love. Always you are thinking of that. Anything you see that. Wherever you go, you see this, you are reminded of. You see that, you are reminded of. You see this, you are reminded of. Oh, he likes that. He has something similar to this. You know, he said this. Anybody speaks, you say, yeah, immediately you connect it. Yeah, he also said that. You know, he also says the same thing. He also has the same. Our problem is the lady comes and says, you know, I am also having the same, sari. Is it? You can't remember. That means what? No remember, no memory. Love is not an effortful remembrance, an effortless. The remembrance becomes effortless in the presence of love. In the absence of love, remembrance becomes a burden and it becomes a disturbance and it is effortful. If there is no love, remembering something, remembering someone is a burden, is a pain. Whereas when you have love, remembrance is such a pleasure. The joy you get in that remembrance only. So people ask, so Arjuna is asking a very simple thing, he starts. How should I worship you? Was his problem. You should worship, you say. How to worship you? With form or without form? All that. That is his basic problem. But the essential point is not what you worship, with form or without form. The essential aspect he forgot. That's where he falls short. Essential bhakti is what? It is, bhakti means love. Love means remembrance. In that remembrance, it can be how intense. The intensity will vary. As the intensity varies in remembering God, expressions also will vary, no? So Krishna gives 5 steps. He gives 5 steps in which 5 different intensity in which you can remember God. Fascinating portion. All that he is giving and asking is like common man asking, is God with form or without form? Krishna moves totally in a different angle actually. He doesn't give answer directly. I told you this. Only in 2-3 places we find Krishna giving direct answers to Arjuna's question. Otherwise, it will look, Krishna is going off tangent into something else. But what he is doing is this. He says, if you have to understand bhakti, don't worry about whether with form or without form. Sir, should I worry about my beloved or my beloved's photograph? What should I look at? What will be your answer? The fellow is coming asking, beloved picture paakarada, beloved paakarada. What is your answer? What answer you will give? சொல்லுங்க, ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. அதுதான் இல்லையே. Should you keep looking at the beloved or you should be looking at the picture? What you should do? The original. கேட்ட கேள்விக்கு பதில் ஒரிஜினலா? Did I say original, fake? Simple question I am asking. Should you look at the beloved or you should look at the photograph of your beloved?
No direct answer.
Beloved தானே? Beloved இல்லைன்னா? If the beloved is there, then you look at the beloved. In the absence of beloved, the photograph of the beloved becomes what?
Representation.
As good as the beloved, isn't it? Imagine someone were to take that photograph and tear. You won't not say just a piece of paper. But if the beloved is there, then it doesn't matter. Keyboard pop, it's okay. In fact, I was also thinking of, cleaning the house. Many times you have done that, no? Old marriage album, no? That marriage album when you take, say, this looks ugly. Throw. கடைசியில் ஆல்பம் ஒன்று பேப்பர் தான் இருக்கும். No pictures. If the beloved is there, then beloved takes importance, not the picture, not the photograph. In the absence of the beloved, the photograph becomes as good as important, as valuable, as relevant as the beloved itself. This is the rule. Remember that. Okay. Arjuna is not understanding that. He is asking, should I look at the beloved or should I look at the photograph? Krishna says, hey, first of all, do you have a beloved? What you are having is like that boy who took that picture of Laila and started loving. Majnu got to know that, because he also wants to love like Majnu. So what he did was, he took the picture of Laila and he also started doing exactly like Majnu. Laila, 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 he went on. And Majnu got to know that. He went to his house and snatched the photograph away from him. He said, find your Laila. You go and find your Laila. This is not yours. This is my Laila. Find your identification. See, now it's got nothing to do with. Now we think, it's all prefixed. Already should be there. Standard template is there. You just have to go and fit in. That's it, sir. In life, there's no standard template, my dear fellow, says Krishna. Arjuna thought like that. He said, you tell me, Krishna, to worship you as this or that or what? Because he has studied God as formless. Now he has seen Krishna in the form of Vishnu, he has seen in the form of Vishwarupa, he has seen, and he has the knowledge of Arupa. Now he is confused. What should I do? Krishna says, take the bow and fight. Except that the fellow asks everything. In the battlefield, standing, you see the context, no? It's amazing to see. Where are you standing? What is happening around you? Is oblivious to all that. Completely blinded to the situation. He's asking, form or formless? Just now he saw the form. Right? Just now he saw that Vishwarupa. Right? Now he is asking, form or formula? And then Krishna says, no man, it's to do with that intensity. As that intensity varies, the expressions also will vary. Isn't it? How intensely a fellow is in love will do differently. One who has a lukewarm will do differently. One who is cold will be different. Now how can you say all same? Yes. So all four are not going to be the same way. You see. So in the earlier portion he gave that, and now he is giving a different dimension. So that's how he builds the entire idea. And then how, finally concluding with what is the test of your devotion. 35 qualities he gives to explain the test of your devotion. How much as your bhakti has gone. There is a form. There is a lower form, there is a middle form, and there is an advanced form. Mediocre. This is I am saying. Now Krishna is dividing it into 5 categories. We will see that as we go in the verses. See. But what we need to understand is this. This identification you must have first. You should have the capacity to feel. You see. If the Kannappa had the capacity to feel, it's so beautiful to see. If you look at it from that identification point of view, minus the identification, you look at it, looks, so stupid. Like, I have been giving you this example. To the God we used to give pattu, They apply balm to God. Every day they apply balm. Let him rest, poor thing. Every day they sing song. And every day morning, wake up song. Every day night they put him to sleep. And then, they close the door and then, no noise. Quietly you have to go. Sleeping. And then they give time for him to talk to his wife also. They are having a, private conversation. Close the door. Apply balm. Amritanjan you apply to God. Absurd action from one angle. But if you can understand that identification, from that identification when you look at it, it is superb. The feel is very different. That's what makes the whole difference, he says. What is the essential aspect here is your ability to feel. If you cannot feel it, what to do? Better luck next time. So this devotion and understanding goes hand in hand. Remember. So how do you develop bhakti? They say the way to develop bhakti is through jnanam. Right. This is one.
That's why jnanam was given first and 12th chapter only.
Jnanam comes next. 13th lena, like actual jnana yoga starts. I'm just saying there are 2 ways of operations. Remember, I'll give example. I'll explain. You shift to a new place and the neighbor comes and says, hello, meet him in the lift, say hi, hi. Nothing else. Correct? Then what happens? More you talk, more you interact, more you interact, more you interact, more you get to know about the person, more you get to know about the person, there is a relationship established, isn't it? Otherwise, where is the relationship? So all relationships that we are talking about is nothing but more and more we interact, and every interaction we are getting to know something about that person, isn't it? Every interaction, every time you transact with a person, you get to know about that person. More and more you get to know about that person, more and more you starts entertaining a particular feeling. That feeling can be hatred, the feeling can be jealousy, the feeling can be affection, compassion. I am not talking about it'll, but any feeling that you have will get strengthened further and further with more and more knowledge, isn't it? Now, as I told you earlier, nature gives us this clue. What is a clue it gives? There are people whom you see first time, right? Right or wrong, all secondary. What is the psychology behind it? What is the science behind it? What is the philosophy? We can see later. But when you see someone, the first time when you see that person itself, we understand what? Nice. Some of them we say what? Thank you, sir. Isn't it? There are people with whom we go like that. We see them like this and then we move. So we ask this fundamental question here as to, okay, if I am going to have that emotion, what I felt earlier, to get strengthened, how that is going to happen? Only through more and more knowledge of that person. So from where you are going to get that knowledge of God? From the scriptures. Now you can't keep visiting the temple every day. So every day I go to Shiva temple so that I will get to know about Shiva. Isn't it? More and more you study about the stories, knowledge. More and more you gain understanding. More and more what will happen? The little devotion that you have felt, something you felt initial, starts growing, deepening itself. Otherwise, it is not possible. Okay, this is one angle of it. The reverse also happens. The moment you start liking a person, automatically you will be tempted to know more about that person, no? Isn't it? Juliet saw this fellow Romeo in the dance. She danced. And then Romeo had to leave. He left. What did she do? She immediately sends her assistant, secretary. I go and find out who that fellow. I want to know more about him. You see that? The more the knowledge you have, more the feeling you get. More the feeling you have, more you will be tempted to gain the knowledge. That's a cycle. Now you get it, no? Earlier also he gave knowledge, no sir? Yes, he gave knowledge earlier also. That knowledge is different. Now the knowledge that he is giving from the 13th chapter or from the 12th chapter itself, you can say, is very different. So before the 11th chapter, after the 11th chapter, the gear shifts. Before the 11th chapter, knowledge is given. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga la kuttar. Sankhya Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, this yoga, all that he gave, correct. The knowledge was given. What is that is given? That knowledge was given to Arjuna to kindle that devotion. Okay. Now that that devotion got kindled in him, he is searching for more. Give me more. I want to know more about it. I want to know more about it. So, the devotion you have will direct you to gain knowledge. More the knowledge that you have, the existing devotion will get strengthened, intensified. In the background, the 5 steps to understand, the 5 progressive ways which Krishna is going to explain. We need this. So that's why I'm giving a detailed, prolonged introduction. So when Krishna is giving this understanding, the steps, he say, yes, bhakti is the effect. Bhakti is the effort. This is a noun. Also it's a verb. So from which angle we are going to work out, each one of us have our own freedom to work it out. But one thing for sure, anywhere you start, doesn't matter. The other will come and fill the gaps. You start with bhakti, you cannot stay put with bhakti, you will gain knowledge. You have knowledge, it is impossible that the knowledge will simply keep quiet as knowledge, it will become bhakti. So one of the definitions for bhakti itself is what? Matured jnanam. Knowledge complete. Matured jnanam is called bhakti. So here is a bhakti, various levels are there. How you define the various level? Intensity. Intensity of what? Intensity of my identification. That is defined by what? Intensity of my remembrance. We remember about it only once a week. Oh, tomorrow Sunday, class is there, no? Yes. For some of you, we have to give a reminder. I didn't get the reminder. One fellow was telling me, na phone panni solnuma. Said, I remember a few years back, one fellow was telling me, when we were going for the class, I was going, he was also coming. He said, sir, on the way, can you pick me up? He said. I used to actually do it. I used to go pick him up and then go to class. On the way back, I have to drop him. You'll say, he was so excited, I at least come and stand near that road, the corner. That also you will not do. I have to go and down, I have to wait there and then give a call to him.
At least he didn't throw stones at you.
He says, amazing fellow. Pick up pannunga, sir. Identification. That, fascinating. The best part of the identification is the proof of your identification will be this. The way you are expressing that identification, everyone around you should say you are gone mad. If they say you are gone mad, you are in the safe position. They say, no, you have grown a lot, you have changed a lot. After Vedanta class, you have become better. If somebody says, better stop attending the classes. Contrarily, they say, after class, you better, next time if I see you walking to that Vedanta class, Gita class, na kala vettiduven. Break your legs and keep you at home. You are on the right track. Weird subject, no? You'll say, peaceful, sir. Vedanta you study, you'll become productive, prosperous. Sir, first lecture you said all those things. Now you are saying, you go mad. Bhakti, the beauty is not bhakti. See, where you will start going to God as a protector, savior, and you understand Him as the Lord of the universe. Okay, one side you say He is Sarvajna, Sarvashakta, omnipresent, omniscient. He is all powerful, everything, He is all knowledge. Next second, you know what you will do? You will catch cold, you know. You will say, don't take. You will catch cold. 1 second before only you said He is Sarvajna. 1 second before you say Sarvajna, next moment you say what? He doesn't know anything. Cannot take. Amazing one. You know? That's called bhakti. That's called devotion. On one hand, you understand that person. See, otherwise what you have to say is, he is dumb, you know, he is a useless fellow. You know. I have to be there to take care. Like every wife telling about husband, you know. This doesn't even know how to have in the fridge. Curd is there. Where? In the fridge. Where? He is keeping the fridge open and asking, Yenga? In the fridge. Second shelf. Logic also. From top or bottom? She has to say from the top. Second. Illiye. Says. What all you are seeing, you tell me. Nowadays, you know, they have the video calls. Take a video call and show. Where is it now? The fridge. You move this, you will see behind. Oh, takes. Dumb fellow. This is attachment. Is love. In devotion, you know what happens is, you carry the contrary with you. On one hand, you believe He is all-knowing, all-powerful. When He is all-knowing, why do you go and apply pattu for Him? Why you need that balm? Why do you have to sing Harivarasana to put him to sleep? You have to sing a lullaby, you know. Nice lullaby. And then every day morning, you know, Suprabhadam you have to give. Wake him up. And there's a big, you know, wake up. And you should see that in, you know, Udupi you should see. How they wake up Krishna there. Oh, show. Beautiful it is to see. Wake up. Yenadana stone. It's a stone there. You mean to say the man who is doing all that doesn't know? Only you can know that's a stone? Of course, he also knows that's a stone. Those who go to Tirupati, you know, they apply the balm there. They know, no, it's a stone. Don't you think only you know? He also knows. But there is something, and after applying all those things, he is praying to the God, please take care of me. If that fellow has the power to resolve all that, can't he handle this much? Say no. That contradictory things, you know. On one hand, you feel he is all powerful. On the other hand, you feel he is absolutely helpless without you. If I am not there, you know what will happen? If I don't apply balm, you know what will happen? Yesdas will think, you know, if I don't sing Harivarasana, Ayyappan will not sleep. So every day I have to go to the, you know, Devasthana and start singing Harivarasana. Yama Sublashmi will say, if I am not there, Venkateswara will never wake up. Balaji will be permanently in sleep. Only I have to be there to wake him up. And people used to do that actually. I remember in that Keshav Perumal temple, one fellow, one Nadaswaram fellow used to come. No one. Every day he would come there and he will play in front of that deity. He'll be sitting there, he'll play. And we ask him, who's listening to you? Nobody's listening to you. In fact, people, the neighbors la thittuvaanga avara. Early morning he'll come. Can't sleep. And you know that, the sound. Nadaswaram sound is, can really, he will play. Unbelievable. He will say, I am playing for him. What for him you are playing? Hey, I used to really enjoy, that, to see these people. And then what he is praying to that God is the interesting part. Or else you must have that arrogance to say that, if I am not there, you are nothing. No. Parallelly, he will carry that belief that he is all powerful, he is all knowing, he is the Lord of the universe, this, that, all that he will say. He genuinely believes that. Exactly opposite. Should I be taking care of him or should he be taking care of me? You start in that bhakti, in the beginning you will go to God so that he will take care of you. Maturity is you go to God to take care of him. Weird argo. How? Who is taking care of whom now? He'll say, no. I have to be there. If I am not there, I don't know what will happen to him. To whom? Lord Ayyappa cannot sleep. Tirupati Balaji will not wake up. Imagine that. That's what bhakti is. That contradicting things will be there. You will feel total freedom. Everyone around you will think you have become a slave. Slavery, stupidity. Now we wanted to project to the world as we are all very smart and intelligent. That is possible only if you start playing dumb to God. If you want to play intelligent to God, you will become dumb to the world. Sir, can I be intelligent to both? Not possible. If you have spiritual wisdom, anyone who has spiritual wisdom cannot have worldly wisdom. Contrarily, the one who has worldly wisdom will definitely be lacking in spiritual wisdom. You can have only one. You make a choice. You have to decide which wisdom you want. Who should give you an approval? You are normal. You are good. As Krishna has to give, Lord Shiva has to say, this guy is normal. He is the best. Who is going to give you certificate matters. You speak so well, depends on who says that. Whose certificate you want? Decide that. If you say, I want the certificate from the higher, from the divine, then bhakti. And in bhakti, all this contradicting, conflicting things will exist. It's together. You can't escape. If you are trying to escape it, you are escaping from bhakti itself. Why I am giving all this is steps la naraya contradicting things varum. You see. So please understand, at every level we will be discussing at that level, that's it. Now don't compare that level and this level. It's like school student is different. College student is different. PhD student is different. You can't say all same. But all of them are students only, isn't it? They're all students. En bloc you say they are all students. But then they are not students also. See you next class.